Hey everyone, it's Jordan here. So I'm in the wilderness area that I explored last week, and I'm back again because it was such a target-rich area that I thought it'd be well worth our time to take another look at another side of it. So I'm approaching. I won't make all the way to where I ended the last week's hike, but I'm gonna go as far as I'm comfortable going today, and pick at this wilderness from the other area. And it's interesting because the landscape here is so much different. It's more open forest, I'd say. It's not, going up one mountain here. It's hilly. It's very small hills, many rivers. And what you see in front of me is what I believe is the wall I was looking for. It's running north-northeast, as the one I saw on Google Earth is, and it's definitely a serpent effigy. I will show you the features up close, but over here on the left side, you see the head. It starts just about 10 feet to the right of a river. The stone on top of the head has a very flat cut. We've talked about those before. And the boulders throughout the wall, many of them are absolutely enormous. I'd say some up to 4,000 pounds. And this is a very, very wild area. Definitely no signs of farming. I don't think this is ever a colonial area. A viewer asked if I had ever seen cellar holes, which are a telltale sign of colonists. I've seen one potential cellar hole in my entire time out here in the many years I've been exploring. So with that being said, let me show you up close some of these features, and then we'll get going and we will see what else we can find today. So starting left to right, here we can see the base boulder, which would be the serpent's head. You can see the boulder on top of it has a very flat side. I'm starting to notice that the flat sides of these rocks are very smooth, which some people suggest vitrification, melting, as a form of cutting these stones. This one doesn't have it, but there is another one in this wall that does. I'm going to show you now, and that one actually has an extremely flat side. So look at this. I definitely think this looks stupid spot focus. There you go. There's the side. Look how flat that is. I definitely think this was cut. And one thing to mention, leading up to this area, I didn't see much, but I saw what I believe to be a Manitou stone. You can see an example of a Manitou stone in my Facebook group, Jordan Kurt's New England Megaliths. That's K-E-R-T. And some boulders with small rocks on top of them, which are telltale signs of native civilization. So I knew I was getting close when I saw those, and I was confirmed. And actually this flat side does feel extremely smooth, very different texture than the outside. You can really feel the bumps of all the quartz crystals coming out of here. And it does have a very distinct shape from the side. So I think this is one of those symbolic stones that I discussed in the group earlier this morning. And then you can see the wall again running north-northeast up this very steep slope. Big slope over on this side. I'm glad the wall runs up this side. The builders chose an easier slope than they could have, but still pretty steep for all these pretty big boulders going up there into the distance. So we're going to follow this. It should take me about half a mile and then fork about north-northwest. And if it does that, I know I'm on the right track, and we'll follow it close to the base, or maybe a bit up ways, a small mountain, little known mountain, just north. I'm sorry, it should go up north and then go northwest or northeast, but I do have my map, not to worry. And I'll be back soon. See you then. Hey folks, so just uphill from the head of the serpent, we have these two megalithic blocks. We have this big boy right here, and this boy, and let's call that a mini megalith right there. Let me show you a bit more uphill, where I definitely think we have another megalith and not a glacial erratic. That oval boulder right there, sitting on this base rock right here. You can see the wall continues on. I'm going to hop in this shot for size comparison, and we will get on our way. Very excited. I love finding a location where a wall is supposed to be. It makes navigating a lot less stressful and scary, because you just follow the wall in and out. All right, so let me hop in the shot. There you go. There are some this is all granite down here, but up top there is what looks like, I don't think it's slate. It doesn't have the fractures of slate, but it is grayer, smoother than the granite. So we have some different compositions in here. No quartz boulders yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we found some coming up. Oh, and look what's behind me. Look what I just saw out of the corner of my eye. No, that's irrelevant. And just a few feet away, we have this, I'd say 15-foot wide gap. I call these gateways. You can see a large red oval rock over here, and then a big megalith over here, megalith here, flake of stone here. No path clearly coming through here. So again, I've hit this before, but I do think this is more symbolic than anything. Let me hop in for size. It's so buggy out, I should have bought a face net. I'm wearing this hat because just to keep as much skin covered as possible. Some tablets of stone, but nothing too crazy, just this interesting gateway. Let me show you that red rock through the zoom. This wall does contain more varieties of stone than most I see. So there's the red rock right there. Yeah, let's keep going. So here we are further along the wall, and there are just truly massive boulders in here. Once you see me next to them, you'll really see how big these things are. This, oh, blurry, clear. The one in the middle I just pointed to looks like a small boulder, but it's actually just turned on its side. So the flat sides are like this. It's turned sideways like that. It's like if you turn these 90 degrees. This one's very massive down here. I'm going to get in for size comparison. Very big boulders. There are smaller rocks pinned into place, as is common. Right here, there are flecks of stone wedged perfectly into place. This one is loose, so that's a common phenomenon in these walls. This is not granite. It's a bluish stone. It's enormous. It looks like these boulders are actually propped up on the ground by smaller rocks. This one's wedged into place. This is a reddish rust-colored stone. This is wedged into place very firmly. So I would definitely hypothesize that this is some sort of sculpture, some sort of symbol, perhaps of a turtle. Natives called North America Turtle Island. So the turtle theme is very common in Native American structures. And that's all for now. Let's see what else we can find. Hey everybody, so I found a very important stone. Definitely 1000% call this a megalith. It's this long tablet with a flat face, right? It goes to here, and there's a little notch. And I've shown these all over the walls in the last video I showed you. These notches with a rock fitting inside of them. The face of this is flat. No way do you see rocks of this shape laying around in the forest here. The rocks you find laying around the forest, they look like the stuff on top, just, you know, roundish boulders. Let me get in the picture. There is rust. There looks like there is rust all over the front of this thing. Let me get up close, zoom in a bit, and show you the size comparison and show you some details. So, this boulder, again, flat face, highly crystalline granite. The bottom is filled in with some granite. It's sitting on a boulder which goes underground. I'm sure you're seeing the clouds of flies around the camera. And you can see that notch over on this side. It's very well fitted for this type of rock structure with the boulder inside the notch. I'm trying to think if there's anything else right now. I don't think so. So let me just show you this up close and we'll move on. And it is actually perched above the ground, so the bottom isn't even touching the ground. It's on this rock, and then there's a gap underneath. So this is reminiscent of those megaliths I showed you on that steep mountainside towards the end of last week's video. There you can better see the shape of it. And there's that really, that's the best notch I've seen an example of. In my earlier video, Megalithic wall, hopping wall quarry, you see tablets of stone in the wall with these exact notches. You see 4 examples of them, 2 on top of each other, and then the two more flipped 180 degrees down the back side of it. And that is a really good example, bringing multiple features together in this wall. Let's see if there's anything cool on the back side. And no, just there you can see the base boulder it's sitting on. There's the wall going off to the south. There it goes to the north, where we will follow it. And let's see what else we can find. All right, guys, right near the wall, we have this beautiful perched boulder. It's got a flake of rock on top. So this is bringing multiple features together. We've got a megalithic wall. We got a perched boulder with tons of fill underneath. I've never seen one with slate. There is slate and granite down there. I'll take a quick walk around this. Probably an offering pile right here on the side. I'm not going to step on those stones. I'm going to step near them, don't worry. Side view, very flat face. I talked about that before. There's the wall in the background going north-south. And let's navigate this fallen tree. Let's go around the other side. There you go. Good idea of how nicely perched this thing is. So definitely think this was brought here, up here. And there you can see slate tucked underneath, as is so common. Hey guys, so we've reached an interesting intersection in the wall. This may or may not be the wall I saw on the map, because it hooks from back here. Where is it in the shot? It gets so small you can barely see it. But here it is traveling south, and then it hooks to the northeast. Now, it hooks to the northeast, hits this very sharp outcrop, and we're going to go up here on the side where it's less steep, and we're going to see if this wall restarts up here. Now, on the map, it shows the wall heading northwest, and actually, right on top of this ledge, there is a section of wall right here. You can barely see, but there is wall up there that someone built, and that is traveling to the northwest. So that might be what I'm looking at the map. Either way, we're gonna keep on continuing on. I'm gonna get in the shot for size comparison. This is a remarkable section of wall hitting this cliff. Obviously, this is not colonial. Colonists wouldn't waste time building ornamental rock structures on cliffs. So let's zoom out. Let me get in here for size comparison real quick, and we'll move on. And this is slate. And actually, in my last hike, there was a slate wall like this in a gully like this. So that might be another design element here. There you go. There's me. There's the wall. Let me show you the wall up close. There it is. There you go. There you go. There's the wall. This is a really cool part of the hike. This is my favorite part so far. So we're going to go up there from the side, and I do see wall up there just through the trees. You could barely make it out. And the northwest section right there. So we're going to check both out by getting up here. And it looks like there's a dirt path. No, it's a tree. Not my lucky day. It's just a down tree. There's no path over there. Let's go see what else we can find. All right, guys, so I got to the top of this ledge, and I did not find that the walls continue. So basically, this wall travels, I'd say, 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile, starting at a river where you see the serpentine head. And as I said, 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile. Then it gets to this rocky outpost to just outside the shot. Oh, let's show you that, actually. Yeah, so there you go. There's the cliff. Probably about 50, 60 feet down. It forks up the cliff and just stops. And I don't see any sign of it continuing here on the other side. But at the top of this outcrop is a perched boulder made of It looks like a combination of granite and slate. I don't know what kind of rock this is, but you can see the space underneath. You can see rocks tucked under here, very common. I've never seen a perched boulder of this composition. I'm seeing lots of rock features in this area, in this part of the area, that are very different from those I've seen in the region. There are unique rocks being used in the structures in this area. Let's hop in here for size comparison and then move on. There you go. So it's probably 3.5 feet tall, very big boulder. Not the biggest I've seen. Let me just show you the left side, my left. I want to show you kind of where it dangles over the perch. And actually that notch right here is reminiscent of the notch I showed you earlier in the wall. And here you go. So notch on the left, notch on the right, and you can see how it kind of floats over the ground. Do a little walk around here. Very neat. And we're just going to continue on going north-northeast into these woods, see if we can find anything else. Hey folks, so I've continued on my journey going north-northeast in the direction of this small mountain. I want to see if I can summit today. So we should be there in about 2 hours, maybe 1.5. And I did hit this wall. So again, I'm walking north-northeast, and this wall runs about south. Shoot, I'm getting this wrong. Yes, it runs southwest-southeast, and then to my right, it appears to hook what would be perpendicular to southeast northwest, whatever that would be. And on my map, I do have sort of an eye-shaped wall network about here, and it's not exactly. I don't think this is that wall, so I think what I'm approaching here is a kind of a grid of these walls that are going to be pretty prevalent in the landscape. And what I want to draw your attention to here specifically is this very big boulder. Do you think this is a megalith? We have that familiar notching up here, and it's filled in with this big triangular stone. Let me get in the shot for size comparison, and I'll show you around the area. Here it is. Small wall, as you can see. Less a wall than it is people call these stone rows. We're gonna walk that way. I want to see if it forks. Yeah, I can see it. The circuitry will head going in a northerly direction again. But this is a very big boulder. This looks like about 4.5 feet long. You do have rust. It does look like it's built on a boulder which is sunk on the ground. There is something stuck in the opening right here. And yeah, not a super impressive stone row, but certainly one of the ancient ones that I love finding. So let's continue on. And let me actually, before we continue on, I'm going to show you the landscape we are now in. The forest has opened up. It almost looks like you're just in someone's backyard, but we are quite deep in this nature preserve. But it's nice to be in more open terrain as the forest clears out here. And I think what we're seeing over there is the wall heading out in a more northerly direction where we're headed anyway. So I'm gonna go check out that area. Bye. Guys, so just when I thought the wall was getting really boring and small, we come across these two huge tablets of stone, granite. I've shown you multiple instances of these in last week's hike. Huge boulders forwarding the base, and the foundation goes underground. Huge tablet over here. And this is part of that wall. This is right near that wall intersection I just showed you, that just minutes ago was barely up to my knees and just featured really small boulders with one potential megalith. But these are absolutely megalithic, and you can see some more of these tablets right down there, right there, stacked up on top of each other. Let me take the camera off the tripod for 1 second. Right down here, the wall is sitting on this boulder, and you can see it's got a very flat face, and I've seen countless megalithic structures in this area, including very defined ovals, a very defined oval on a mountaintop, sitting on bedrock that looks carved, just like this. So more patterns we're seeing. We can see some notches under this tablet right here. In the dark, yeah, I can just make them out. And we're going to follow this wall now. This wall is going to take us up to the mountain I was looking for. It does go northeast, so that is the direction we need to be heading anyways. And yeah, let me get in the shot, show you the size of these tablets. And I do have more pictures on my Jordan Kurtz New England Megaliths Facebook page. That's K-E-R-T. Jordan Kurtz New England Megaliths. So join that. You'll see tons more pictures from this hike and detailed explanations of what you're seeing, ongoing discussions, and megalithic material from my friends all over the world, as far as Poland and the Dominican Republic. Let me hop in this shot real quick and show you the size here. So up close, these are incredible to be next to. These are huge tablets of stone. This one has to be almost 6 feet long at least. Lots of red tinge in the stone. There's little rocks tucked perfectly into place, pressed into place. We have tablets of stone up here. That stone is not granite, very different composition. It does appear that the wall travels underground. Who knows how far underground, but it wouldn't surprise me if many of these walls, you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of their size. So that's looking like all for now. Let's get back to the hike and see what else we can find. Guys, this is a really exciting point in my hike. I was getting a little bored, but now we're about a mile in, getting to the mountain I was looking for, and we're seeing some really interesting structures. Here we have a hopping portion of the wall down this boulder, which looks sliced on the other side. I'm going to show you that in 1 second. Before we hop in for size comparison, down yonder, where are you? We have this large megalithic boulder with a shape I am familiar with from the area. Let me show you from down here actually, and I'll hop in. So look at that. We have a very cool, let's get focused here. We have a split boulder, a hopping wall, and a megalithic boulder in the wall. Let me hop in here for size comparison. This is a great area. I think we're about to get to some really good stuff. Again, Jordan Kurtz New England Megaliths, K-E-R-T, join. As the Revolutionary War warriors of the American Revolution said, join or die. I think that was Ben Franklin. Die of boredom, because there's nothing else good on YouTube. Except for my brother Morley Kurt's channel, of course. He's a 3D printer. So guys, here I am heading, following this wall network north to the mountain, or the mountain base. And as you can see, far right of the screen, it just ends with a serpentine head, just like we saw at the beginning of the earlier wall network, as is very common. But more impressive, look at the size of this boulder from here to here. That is longer than I am tall. It must be 7 feet long. Flat face. You can see a nice notch right there. I'm looking for any other interesting features. There are tablets over here to the left. I am going to continue walking north. This wall does branch off a number of times. And this part of the forest, I just saw a tree, which is the largest tree I think I've ever seen in my hikes in this area. So this is an old growth forest for sure. And there are other huge trees right there in the background. So let me get in this for size comparison, and then we will be on our way as is customary. So let's lock this in place. Let me walk over without knocking over my tripod. I'm kind of standing in a bush right now. Oh, yep, there it goes. Where are we here? This fixed. Okay. Try again. There we go. It's just a beautiful section of forest. Like I said, very old trees. And seeing this boulder from behind, it is enormous. Easily 7 feet long. granite and other types of rocks in this wall. I bet this is very, very, very old. I bet this is 1,000, 2,000 or more years old. And that's all for now. Actually, let me show you up close to front. So there's the front. This would be the serpent's head, Octena. I have seen not a single quartz crystal in this wall network today. While nearby, from last week's hike, it was loaded with quartz boulders. Clearly not an accident. And look at the size of this megalith right here. That is a bad boy. That is a big one. Tablets all over the place. And there it goes, continuing south into the woods where it hits the network. Who knows how many miles it spreads out. It does pick up again right over here. You can see there's kind of a curve in it. Right there. Right there is where it ends. And it goes off into the woods. So actually, before I head off north, I'm going to walk up there a bit, see what I can see. And the bugs are just vicious today. I'm eating bugs. Hi guys, so I'm about at my turnaround point. I am in some thick, thick old growth forest. It has such a feeling of being so remote, and I know I am like I'm smack in the center of this wilderness area, so it is a good time to turn around. I am feeling there's a mental pressure you get from being out here. And it's like scuba diving. At a certain point, you're just ready to turn around, and I don't push it. So this is the turnaround point. But right at the turnaround point, we see what's in front of you, which is a classic Native American stone offering pile. You can see small stones, big stones on it. Let me get in the picture for size comparison, and then I will give you more of an up-close tour. There it is. Let's go up close. Let me show you the stones on this boulder. So we have this really big one. I'd guess this is a 200-pound stone, maybe 250. Lots of small ones in here. I've found a lot of these in the area with quartz. So I'm curious, maybe under some of these leaves, I'm not trying to disturb the stones or take anything. There's roots actually from a tree growing over this. Oh, and right here, looks like a big quartz rock right here. So yes, this one does have what is common, which is a big quartz rock sitting right in it. Very, very cool. This looks granite-ish. I don't think it's granite. And here's just a view of what I am surrounded by, which is some very thick woods. Very, very thick woods. But I know exactly where I am on the map, thanks to the map, studying the map, the walls, the compass. I even have some cell phone service out here. So I'm ready to turn around and call it a day and put together some video for you guys. Thanks for joining. See you next time on New England Megaliths. Jordan Kurtz, New England Megaliths. Join the Facebook group, KERT. So as is customary, on my way out of these woods, I stumble across a very significant structure. This is a really big, what is known as a offering pile of stones. You can obviously see all the little stones on this big boulder. The boulder looks like it's been carved. You can see this kind of bowl in here. And also take note right there, that flake looks like it has a perch for it to sit. There's another flake back here as well. There is a big piece, there is a good sized piece of quartz rock in here. There's no telling how old this thing is. You can't carbon date stone, obviously. You could you could carbon date organic material under the stone, but you don't know how long it's actually been sitting there. So there, again, this could be thousands of years old, hundreds of years old. This could have been made in the years leading up to colonization, but it is certainly a Native American structure. Maybe built, maybe even pre what we call natives, one of the megalithic structures, but I think this is more of a recent Native American structure. Let me get in for size comparison and we'll show you up close. I'm eating bugs again. This is I love finding these. These are really cool. I like these because they're not as controversial as the megaliths. These are accepted as Native American. Less structurally incredible, but still a piece of history. And it's nice knowing that I'm the only person in the world who knows where this thing is. So it's a good feeling finding one of these. And I'm going to show you now the rocks up close. And it is just like, I've never experienced bugs like this before in my life. And we are in New Hampshire, so not the rainforest. Okay, so here you go. It is covered in stone. So this just represents, there's the quartz I was referencing right there. There's the quartz. And in the last segment of the video, I dug up what looked like a quartz rock. It's actually, on closer inspection, not quartz. So I correct myself there. But there are all different kinds of stones in this. Just look how many. So just, the theory is, and I may be able to find historical or textual confirmation of this in the book Manitou, that this was a sacred area, and that natives would leave stones as offerings as they passed by. Maybe it's a sculpture, but it is certainly a Native American sculpture, and I just love finding these. This is on I believe we are on a nature preserve still, so this would be owned by a trust. They don't know it's on their property, but I do. There's a big one right here. And actually, this one, I'm choking on bugs, literally. This one right here, many of these offering piles have boulders with a similar shape to this. Looks kind of like a turtle's head. So I think there's a good chance that something like this was carved. And just take a look around here. We are in the absolute middle of nowhere. And there's a pile. And this area is crisscrossed with these megalithic walls. And with that, I'll bid you adieu until the next time I find something, which will probably be in 2 minutes. See you soon.